You are ready to experience a profound shift in your reality. And I know that's a big promise. And a lot of people talk about manifesting and just think a good thought and you'll create whatever you want. But here's the truth. It's for real. You can shift your energy right now. You can shift your internal reality in your life where nothing will ever be the same again. In fact, all true transformation happens right now in the moment. It's an instant transformation. When your consciousness, your frequency, your energetic story, your experience of yourself shifts, it's instantaneous. It just happens. It might require that you do long meditations or do a plant medicine journey or whatever experiences you're drawn to in your life that lead you into that moment. But when the moment happens, it's instantaneous. And your life changes. It shifts. It's happened so many times in my life. Profound ones, right? In many different ways. And over time, what I began to discern and realize, what I'm sharing with you here at Be Source, how to be Source, is to go directly into that power. To go directly into the God within yourself, to come into that state of consciousness where you are the Source already, that pure I am, the pure awareness, and shift your energy, shift your frequency. Dive into whatever you're experiencing right now. What is it? What is that core thing that you're focused on right now? You're wanting to shift in your life, but you feel like you can't, or you keep trying. You keep thinking maybe you've done something, but then the same problems and patterns keep coming around. So what is it? Can you feel into that? Because this is the path. Just take a breath. Breathe into your heart. Because the heart is the doorway in to our true self, into the Source within ourselves. Because the way we return, we remember who we are, the way that we access that deepest part of ourselves, how we come out of ego, is by going into the heart. Actually working with the energy of your consciousness itself to return to a state of peace and alignment, connection. It's the technology of our consciousness. We can learn to use it and go into the God within. And from that place, from Source, as Source, change the source code, change the frequencies, the energy, the patterns, the programs going on in your life. And the instant that that happens, reality shifts. Your internal reality shifts. It changes. But you still have to do the work. There's an integration process of that shift of reality, or you have to keep tuning in. So when you shift your reality and you're like struggling with whatever you are in your life right now, and you come into this state of deep alignment and realizing and releasing whatever that energetic is and actually adopting a new ideal, a new frequency right now in this moment in relationship to that thing in your life, that's the new state that you're creating right now. This is a frequency that you can know and hold, return to. And this is when I talk about your insistence. You begin to insist on that frequency instead of your old pattern. Because even though you actually do shift it, and it's an instantaneous new reality, new possibility within yourself, that old one can still be hanging out in your field. There can be a tendency to regress back into that old pattern, allow it to take over again. And because you are the Source, you are the Creator, if that's what you choose, then that's the path you'll keep following, and that's the vibration, the frequency you'll be emitting in your life, and thus the reality you keep perpetuating. This is your insistence. You insist on that old pattern. Or you do the work that I share here, coming into the heart, really welcoming in that old pattern, because you have to really allow it to come out so you can shift it. Shift these brain pattern states, shift the energy that you're used to. You bring it in, fully embody whatever your struggle, your pattern, your deepest suffering problem is right now. Stop resisting it. Just welcome it in fully. You don't have to get rid of it. You be it so fully that it doesn't have any power over you anymore. And then you insist on a new frequency. You embody that new ideal right here, right now. This is alchemy. You're taking what is, fully embracing it, living it, and then you're shifting it into what you want to be. That's the instantaneous shift. Listening to me, tuning into this frequency, can be an instantaneous shift where you actually believe that something new is possible for you, that you can actually feel this new vibration. That's instantaneous. Then you have the work to do. You got to walk the path. And life's going to reflect the new possibilities of what you're embodying. It's also going to show you the old patterns, right? Or the contrast. You have to keep choosing. You have to keep insisting on this new ideal within yourself. Keep returning to that core frequency. And just hearing me and tuning into this is what you need right now. Like a tuning fork, I'm emitting this possibility right now, and by tuning into me and my videos and my offerings, you're radiating in that frequency. You're learning to tune into it. But there's some ways you can accelerate this process for yourself. And it's through working with the 4 dimensions of consciousness, of your being. And that's your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your energetic. These are 4 ways that you experience reality as the source, right? You are pure I am, pure awareness, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness does not have thoughts. The ego has thoughts. Personality has feelings, has desire, and takes action. That's what we're here to do. So there's a lot of talk about killing the ego, which does happen through deep surrender. It's like you surrender all the egoic patterns, thoughts, feelings, energies of what you thought you were. You realize you're actually just the source. You're pure consciousness, awareness, bliss, freedom, potential, being experienced through your ego. So it's like bringing your ego into service to your higher self. This is what alignment is all about, and resonance. So when you learn to live in resonance, this is how you actually can insist on your true frequency, your true ideal, what you really want to be experiencing, radiating, creating in the moment with your life. And so these 4 dimensions of yourself are pathways into creating that for yourself, or making that more powerful for yourself. And they're also the 4 components of alignment itself, of creating a frequency. Because you have your physical body. That's the most dense expression of what you are, right? It's what's here. It's an expression of your energetic, mental, and emotional states. Your body is the expression of that. But it's also where we hold our will and our desire. And we take action. We do things. We create. We feel. We sense all the things with the physical. But this is a dimension to work on to create greater alignment in your life, which opens more freedom for you to access who and what you are, to focus on your real frequency of your ideal. Because if you're all clogged up physically with toxins or blocks, things of that nature, you can't do what I'm talking about. They get in the way, and the physical is the most expressive, most embodied thing we have. So you start with that, clearing up your diet, spending time in nature, doing yoga or stretching, doing the things that create an open and clear and honored temple your vessel. And this lives in your lower energetic center, the physical domain of your will, your desire. So this is a dimension to work on, to create more alignment. Gives you more access to who you are. The next dimension is your emotional realm, in the heart, the feeling body. And if you're holding grudges, your heart's closed down, you can't forgive yourself or others, you're holding all these stories, emotionally related things of you're not worthy and not good enough, and all these emotional patterns. You got to work on these, clear them up, create alignment. Heal your patterns, heal your relationships. This creates a greater clarity, a greater capacity to be what you are, to embody the energy that you're here to live and be as the truth, as the source of who you are. And this lives in the middle, the energy center, the feeling body, the emotional body. And the third dimension is the mental body of your thoughts, your belief systems. So if you're holding thoughts or you're believing things about yourself that are contrary to your ideal intention, what you want to be insisting on creating, your pure focused frequency, if you're thinking thoughts that are contrary to that, if you believe things in your core mental body, it's never going to work. It's not going to function, and you're not going to create what you're wanting to experience in your life. And it's going to create and activate emotional feelings and that feel terrible, right? Feel out of alignment. All the ways you feel bad, which might make you do destructive things physically, eating foods, emotionally, and going out and partying, binging, doing whatever it is you do that are self-destructive spirals that lead you down the dark path, that take you away from the truth of who you are. So you work on these 3 different dimensions, creating alignment, clearing up your vessel, coming back to who you are, increasing your capacity to actually embody what I'm sharing with you here. This is the path, this is the journey of integration. It's like you can do this before and after. It's a constant thing. Maintaining your vessel, maintaining your embodied frequency of who you are. And the fourth is the energetic, or called spiritual often. I see it all as spiritual. And there is actually even a fifth one, a higher body, the bliss body, the pure source energy, 5D body. And the fourth dimension, the energy, is the gateway through all of that. This is what true alignment is all about, which gives you a sense of guidance in life and affirmation of what's real for you, what's really true. And so true alignment, or learning to actually insist upon your frequency, like for real, requires that your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are all in this harmonic resonance. They're all aligned. They all light up with whatever ideal you're holding right now. And when they don't, or when other things arrive, you feel other things in your body, if you feel closed down or your heart closed down, you're out of alignment. You're in dissonance. You're not in a resonant state, and you're not going to create the reality you want. You're going to create the reality you're used to. You're going to insist on your limitations, your lack, and the past. That's what you'll be insisting when you're in dissonance, because you're actually living a limited version of yourself. And so the energy is a way of tuning in to this higher perception, this higher capacity, and feeling resonance within your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Feeling a resonance that feels good. It lights your heart up. You just feel it in your whole body. And you can explore different thoughts or ideas or paths in your life and find alignment. And this is where the real insistence of who you want to be, who you are, the truth of who you are comes through. When you find this alignment, aligning the thoughts, feelings, and actions with the energy of your true self. This is what breaks you through into whatever you're here to do and to be and to live. This is how the real gifts of who you are come through in your life. This is how you be source. And so you do the work going through the physical, emotional, mental bodies, clearing up the patterns, the programs, connecting into that energy body, which is a deeper layer of surrender and alchemy and integration, and bringing all of those together into this unified experience. That's the path. That's what gets you to where you want to actually be. You do actually have to do things. But in the moment, and the more you develop this capacity, the more instantaneous, and always instantaneous, true transformation is. It might take a whole path, a whole lifetime, and then in an instant, things shift. And then from that point on, it's still about alignment, resonance, and integrating. You have to live into that new reality. You got to do the things that keep lighting you up. You got to keep insisting on your frequency, or you'll just go off, a new path, or you can create new ones. You can get lost. There's all kinds of detours and traps. It's up to you. This is the work. This is the path. And it's also instantaneous. It's right here, right now. You shift that energy, you release that thought, you integrate those patterns, you be that new thing right now, and your reality shifts. It changes. And then you walk the path, and you see what shows up. And you insist upon your frequency as your primary. You don't insist that reality shifts according to what you want. You insist on what you want to embody and be right now. And you insist on integrating anything that shows up that's not that. That's your primary. That's what you insist upon. And if you do that, you will find yourself living in an entirely new reality, where things are showing up to help you to live into that truth and to be who you are and to love your life on a whole new level that you never thought was possible. So if you want some help with that, come work with me. Stay tuned here. I'll help you move through these 4 dimensions, integrate these patterns, these programs, all the things that are keeping you limited and lack from your life, from the life you desire. I want to help you to live into that and to really grok and realize and live what I'm sharing here with you right now. Because not only is it the most beautiful and empowered and magical and amazing thing you can realize in your human life, but it's also a way to be a great blessing to this world, because a higher frequency of love and light and energy comes through you, and you feel the deep peace and the bliss and the freedom of being what you really are. That's my prayer for you. Thank you for tuning in. I wish you so many blessings and much love.